Welcome to Sleepless Readings. Tonight we'll be reading a tale written by Ben, one of the hosts of the Tiny Bookcase podcast, which I recently guest starred on, link in the description. The tale is called A Day in the Sun. It doesn't like the sun, so I sit in my yard from dawn until the glare dips below the western skyline. Furloughed at the start of the pandemic and redundant by the end, I haven't worked in a year. Instead of friends, the chirping insects in the sandy scrub keep me company through the day. High-factor sunblock only lasts a few moments in the Arizona sun. Sometimes it is easier to burn than reapply it constantly. The skin that bubbles up does so over mottled bruises, painted in the colors of nebulae. The tanning of my hide toughens the puckered marks where my collagen vainly attempts to keep me watertight. I do sometimes leave, but I can't be gone long or be out too late. It will get worse if I'm not there. My chapped forehead and scalded hands draw looks in the store, but the clerks are more concerned with other customers having meltdowns about masks than the quiet, burned guy buying tinned spaghetti and sauce and light bulbs. Everything takes time, though, and I do not have much of that. I wait for the checkout, distanced from any socialization, while the woman at the head of the line aggressively debates state law with the security guard. I watch the sun dip in through the branded storefront glass and check my watch to estimate the time before it sets. I have to run home, hoping the plastic bags won't split on the jolts. The shadows on my porch are already growing as I fumble the key into the lock. Inside, the lights are on. I leave them on all day. The collection of lamps, hanging bulbs, and sconces I've filled my home with flicker with weak electric light. Though the rooms are bright, I can feel it in the shadows as I make my evening meal. It wants me nearby, and it wants to hurt me. The slop is tasteless. I can't smell or taste anything. Some of the bulbs have died, and so I move through the quiet of my house, replacing them with fear-quickened hands. The bedroom is the brightest room. Ringing the double bed are lamps of varying sizes and shapes. I leave them all on as I climb into bed. The sheets pull across the bubbled-up burns from the sun, and I know that some will ooze as I sleep, yellowing my bedding. I wake in the night and the darkness grips me. My sheets have been pulled from me and the lamps are out. In the slight moonlight I can see the stain where she had been. The pit in the mattress next to me had been burned there by her rot, and as I stare at the empty space, I can again hear her breath catching. The fear rises in me and jumps me from the bed. My shins knock a lamp over in the darkness, and I step down hard onto the filament and shards of a broken bulb. I feel it pull at me, and I pitch forwards towards our dresser. The corner of it gashes my forehead, and I lie for a moment where I fall. Stunned and bloody, I half crawl, half stumble from the room. The lights are out everywhere, and the fuse box is downstairs. I feel it wrap my legs as I try to hobble down the carpeted steps. The world tumbles around me until I crumple at the bottom. My arm has folded under me in the wrong direction. The coldness of the pain spreads from my belly to my brain. I can see the fuse box now, and I crawl closer. Behind me, the darkness gathers around my legs. Looking back, I see depressions on my flesh forming as its bite closes on the back of my ankle. I keep crawling, using my one good arm, as it isolates the tendon and wrenches it long and useless. I don't have screams anymore, but sweat fountains over me. stretch and I reach up and open the cover on the box. By feel more than sight. I run my fingers along the line of switches and reset the ones that have tripped. The lights hum into life once more, and I see it pull away from them, retreat into the corners where the minimal shadows hang. My breathing becomes desperate as I feel myself going into shock. I lie for some time as my mind spins out behind open eyes. I do not know how long it takes me to muster the will to carry on. I raid the medical closet I keep stocked up and begin the work of patching myself. Painkillers, stitches, and a sling. A bad night, even for us. My small first aid talent's exhausted. I sit at my kitchen table in the bright and empty house until dawn begins to touch the windows. I look around and see the small shadows in which it persists, undulating, writhing slowly like a pit of snakes. I do not know how long I can live like this. At least for today, I can stand and limp into my yard to spend another day in the sun. Thank you for listening. That was A Day in the Sun. Again, written by one of the hosts of the Tiny Bookcase podcast, which I guest starred on. Link at the top of the description. Go give it a listen. I read another story on there.
Don't forget to like the video, it does help to boost the channel.
Leave a comment for the algorithm.
There's new stories every Sunday.
Not to mention the shorts on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So subscribe.
And ring the bell.
Thanks, guys. And, as always, stay sleepless.